Welcome to the Rebel Health Coach Podcast with Tom Underwood. Armed with truth and knowledge, your journey to a healthy lifestyle can be obtained. Preventative wellness, quality nourishment, and daily fitness routines dramatically improve your outlook on life as a whole. And you'll find the support and info you need to accomplish a healthier lifestyle here. Together, we can empower each other along our journey to an amazing you.
Welcome to the Rebel Health Coach Podcast. Thank you for joining me today and listening. I appreciate it very much. This is another solo episode. This one hits home with me because I will be 60 on June 30th, and this is April 30th that you're listening to this, so it's 60 days to 60. And I want to talk a little bit about what that means to me and a little bit about where I've been. And if you haven't been listening for a while, or you just joining me, I'm going to go back a little bit to episode number 1 and talk about how far I've come since 2007 when I was diagnosed with a metabolic syndrome and some of the things that I do. And I want to get into metabolic syndrome a little bit today and explain to you what that actually is. But in 2007, February to be exact, I went to the physician for my annual physical, and he had my lab work in his hands and said, we need to talk about some things. I said, okay, great. But at that point in my life, I was 289 pounds, basically obese. And I knew what he wanted to talk about wasn't good, and it meant change for me, which is okay, because I needed that change. Because you see, metabolic syndrome was what my father passed away of. And at the age of 63, actually. So turning 60 kind of opening my eyes a little bit. My grandfather passed away at 57 and my father at 63. So I passed my grandfather on my dad's side, and my dad passed away 3 more years for me, actually. So it kind of hit home when I was diagnosed with the same thing that he had when he passed away. At any rate, we sat there and talked, and he read my labs. I will go over what metabolic syndrome is in a couple minutes, but basically, I had cholesterol, high blood pressure, elevated sugar or high blood sugar, high triglycerides, high blood pressure, low HDL, which is a good cholesterol, and abdominal obesity. So we sat there and talked. And if you haven't listened to this before, he handed me some prescriptions for these things that I had, and that didn't include my liver at the time, which needed help too. And I kind of looked at him with the 4 prescriptions he wrote me and said, I can't do this. It's time for me to make a change. So I proceeded to walk over to the trash can and take those 4 prescriptions and push my foot on the little door opener onto the trash can in the doctor's office and throw the prescriptions in there. He looked at me like I was crazy, which for those who know me kind of know that I am a little bit on that crazy side. Hence the name, the Rebel Health Coach. But he said to me, I want to see you in 6 months. What are your plans? And I said, well, I am going to change the way I eat, and I'm going to begin to exercise. He said, okay, I'll see you in 6 months. I said, okay. Basically, game on. Well, I proceeded to change the way I ate, and I tried many, many things. I tried, what is the name of that food company that delivers the food to your door in boxes? Dan Marino was a spokesperson for them. Nutrisystems, that's it, Nutrisystems. I tried Nutrisystems, and that basically taught me portion control. At that point, I continued to do Nutrisystems. And then I got on the treadmill, which was totally boring. For any of those of you that own a treadmill and store your clothes on it, I know why. because that's about all it's good for, is to hang laundry on to dry. Well, then one day I had this idea that I am going to find something fun to do that will get me more involved in fitness. So I Googled kickboxing, which if you listen to episode 1, will know that I started with a place called Knuckle Up Fitness in Sandy Springs, Georgia, here in the Atlanta area. And I found a home there and many good friends, and they still are there. And some of them are still friends and some of them are not, but that's another story again. But needless to say, if you're in the Sandy Springs area, look up Knuckle Up, because it's a great place to go do kickboxing and other things. They now have boxing classes. They also have a CrossFit class and some very good trainers and some very good people. And it was like family to me, and I miss that family. But I've hence moved on to another family because I moved away from Sandy Springs. Anyway, and during this journey, I decided to become a health coach because I want to help people with predicaments that they're in. Well, health coaching wasn't enough. I became passionately interested in functional medicine. Eventually, I received my certification for functional health coaching through the School of Applied Functional Medicine. I believe with a passion that everyone can benefit from knowing more about functional medicine. I'm not an MD or a medical professional, but I have all the experience and all the tools and knowledge to successfully treat root causes of a variety of ailments and to help you on a journey to better health. Some of the things I do today that I did not do back then were eat real food, which we'll get into here in a little bit. And I exercise. I exercise 5 days a week. Now, I really do love my exercising, and it's become like a habit. Like the many things, I do it 5 days a week, as I said. Last year, I averaged 17 times a month of an average calorie burn per workout of 655 calories. So in 2018, I burned 134,422 calories. So that's quite a bit. And I enjoy it. It's honestly, exercising to me is self-care. And it's something that I love to do. And I love the camaraderie and going up against people. And that's what I do to this day, like at Knuckle Up Fitness. Besides, I don't do kickboxing. I do more of a CrossFit type of thing, which is not really CrossFit, but that's something that I don't do because basically I'm getting old. But I love this exercise and I do it daily. Now, I want to dig into metabolic syndrome a little bit. What is metabolic syndrome? Because I get asked that often when I tell people I had metabolic syndrome. And that's what my father died of. Metabolic syndrome is a metabolic disorder that involves not one, but a combination of 3 or more of the following health issues: abdominal obesity, high blood sugar, high triglycerides, high blood pressure, and low HDL cholesterol, which is good cholesterol. The term metabolic refers to the biochemical process involved in the body's normal functioning. When you have metabolic syndrome, your body is in a state of serious malfunction. Metabolic syndrome increases your risk of some very concerning and possibly deadly health issues, including heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Waist circumference at least 35 inches for a woman or at least 40 inches for a man is something that is found in metabolic syndrome. Fasting blood glucose at least 100 plus. Serum triglycerides of 150 plus. Blood pressure at least 135 over 85 and over. HDL or good cholesterol lower than 40 for men and lower than 50 for women. Let's talk about what foods make metabolic syndrome worse. Fake and processed foods. Guys, I don't know how many times I got to say this. If it's made in a factory, it's not freaking food. Eat real food. If it's made in a factory, it's not real freaking food. Think about it next time you pick up a package of food. Artificial sweeteners. Yep, artificial sweeteners like Splenda have been directly linked with the occurrence of diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Accumulating evidence suggests that frequent consumers of sugar substitutes containing aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin may also be at increased risk of excessive weight gain as a result of development of metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Next up, diet sodas. Hey, ditch the diet sodas, man. Trans fats. Trans fats are found in foods made with hydrogenated oils and fats, such as margarine. Did you know margarine actually has plastic components in it or to it? Baked goods like cookies, cakes, and pies, crackers, frostings, coffee creamers, they raise LDL cholesterol and triglyceride levels. It's bad news for your waistline, heart health, and metabolic disorders. Next up is refined carbohydrates and sugars. Consumption of these two are major culprits when it comes to high blood sugar levels, insulin resistance, and the development of diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Sugar, especially when used to sweeten beverages, is a major culprit, as are refined carbs. Next up is alcohol, and we all know that that does harm, but limit your alcohol intake is a key to metabolic syndrome and good health in general. Next up, I want to talk about some of the medications associated with metabolic syndrome. And something that's very dear to my heart is what they actually do in our system as far as nutrient depletion. So, first up, medications for metabolic syndrome. First up is high blood pressure medicines. Beta blockers, as we call them, are one of the oldest and safest classes of hypertensive drugs. They lower blood pressure by reducing the force and the speed of the heartbeat. Something has to be wrong there. But anyway, nutrients depleted by beta blockers is one called coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10 and reduced production of a hormone called melatonin, which, if you've been following along, melatonin we need for our sleep. So somehow we need to replenish that hormone called melatonin so we can sleep better. By blocking beta receptors, these medications may also block the action of an enzyme needed to make this hormone, which is produced at nightfall and promotes sound sleep, serotonin. CoQ10 or coenzyme Q10, a nutrient that helps your heart do its job. CoQ10 is a life-sustaining antioxidant, gets demolished by hundreds of medications, not just beta blockers. Also, statin drugs for cholesterol, metformin, which is for diabetes, antidepressant, and then beta blockers, diuretics, which is another beta blocker or another drug they use for high blood pressure. But I will cover CoQ10 more in a minute. Next up, for high blood pressure, the diuretics like Lasix. This class of drugs is used to reduce blood pressure by moving fluid out of the body and by an action on the kidney. Nutrients depleted by diuretics include calcium, magnesium, potassium, vitamin C, B1, B6, and zinc. Next up, I want to talk about cholesterol medicines or statins, which include Crestor, Lipitor, and others, which I have listed here, but I'm not going to go through them all. Here's a sad fact. At this time, about 36 million Americans have cholesterol counts high enough to make them candidates for statin therapy. The guidelines for safe cholesterol levels continue to change, so more and more people are prescribed these medicines at a higher and higher dose. Statins or cholesterol medications reduce bad LDL cholesterol and raise good HDL cholesterol. But nutrients depleted by these statin drugs are CoQ10. Now, I want to get a little bit more in depth in CoQ10 in a minute. This nutrient is involved in energy production in every cell in our body. A deficiency of CoQ10 can cause you to feel very uncomfortable. It can even be deadly for some people. And here's what can happen when you run too low on CoQ10. Leg cramps and heavy, achy legs. Many doctors diagnose this as restless leg syndrome and give you another medication for it, which is going to deplete more nutrients. High blood sugar, which you'll get diagnosed with diabetes, which they'll give you metformin, which in return reduces CoQ10. Impotence, which the doctor may tell you is erectile dysfunction or something we call ED. Shortness of breath and fatigue, which you'll be prescribed another prescription for, or be assumed to have hypothyroid or thyroid medications prescribed. Depression and memory loss, which I'm going to give you some more medications for that too. See where I'm going with this? Liver enzyme abnormalities, which, hey, now let me give you another prescription for the liver enzyme problem. Also, cardiac heart palpitations or arrhythmias, which I happen to have to go through the surgery for during my journey. Since 2007, I had cardiac ablation surgery to fix my abnormalities in my heart. Okay, so I don't want to talk about all bad news, but the good news is CoQ10 is easily supplemented. But in addition to protecting you against these side effects, this nutrient will improve your overall health as well. Supplementing with CoQ10, and if you're on a statin, do not take your statin drugs without supplementing with CoQ10. Now, I haven't even got to blood sugar medications or controlling blood sugar, but the most famous drug for controlling blood sugar is metformin. So I'm going to go over a list of some of the nutrients that are depleted by metformin. Metformin depletes vitamin B12 and folic acid. It reduces a substance called intrinsic factor in the stomach, which is needed for good absorption of B12 by the intestines. The longer you've been on this drug and the higher dose, the greater your drop in B12. So, along with supplementing with CoQ10, supplement with B12s and some folic acids. I know, this is all, Tom, you're freaking killing me here. I'm saying all this to know, I want you to know this. It's scary stuff, man. You know, this is why I do what I do and why I enjoy what I'm doing in this functional medicine health coaching realm. I love figuring out the interconnectedness of our bodies. I guess I could say that at being 60, I kind of missed my calling. And it's too late for me to go back to school and become a physician or a naturopathic doctor. But I found my passion. I found this passion through the School of Applied Functional Medicine. I found a tribe of people that I love and work closely with daily. And I love them all and cherish them all. I love helping people. And I don't want to make this seem like a bad thing because you can have a choice here. That's why I'm doing all this to say. That's why I'm doing this episode, just to say that you have a choice. You do not have to stay on those medications. I am living proof of that. And I want to help you. I want to help you get off those medications. I want to help you live a productive life. I want to help you have the energy you need to be productive, to love your family, to play with your grandchildren, to play with your kids, to see your daughter get married, to walk across that aisle with your daughter in your arm. So don't accept those drugs as the only remedy. And if you do, know what nutrients it's depleting and replenish those nutrients with a supplementation and eat better food. I mean, this is a big pet peeve of mine. I list out supplements to clients and they ask me, well, what does this one do? But do you ever ask your doctor, Doc, What does this drug do? What nutrients is it depleting in my body? What do I have to do to get off of this drug? Or do you just take the drug and live your life? I know this is kind of a Debbie Downer episode, and I'm sorry, but this is very, very real. I, at 60, am seeing people that I grew up with, people that I went to high school with, pass away. Why? Because they didn't want to make the effort to change. I'm here. I'm here for you. Put me to the test. Make a 20-minute complimentary consultation with me. Put me to the test. See if I'm a fit for you to get off these drugs. Anyway, man, it's really simple. I've talked about the optimal healthcare model in a lot of different exercise. Maximize, prioritize, minimize. Maximize what's needed for our bodies to nourish. Oxygen, water, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, protein, healthy fats. Minimize the crap, the toxins, the infections, the allergens, the stress, the trauma. Limiting beliefs and fear. Negative expectations, negative self-talk. Get rid of that shit. I don't know if I can say shit or not, but I just did. Just stop it. Prioritize yourself. Sleep, rest, laughter, stress reduction, exercise, walk. You don't have to do what I do 5 days a week. I push myself. Heck, the other day I worked out with 2 high school kids and blew them out of the water. Yeah, I'm pretty damn proud of that. I'm just saying, go out there and do something. Move your damn body. Don't sit on the couch and watch TV every night. Go for a walk with your spouse. Or if your spouse doesn't want to go for a walk by yourself. Listen to my podcast episodes. What the heck? Stretch, exercise, breathe. Get some meaningful relationships in your life. If something's not serving you, kick it to the curb. It's not that difficult. That's why my passion is to help people. That's why I do what I do. That's why I put myself through school for this. Not just to help people get on supplements, but to help you get off of supplements and prescription medications. But you know what? Supplements are a way of life. Why? Because our food does not have the same nutritional value it did years ago. That's why you have to take multivitamins. A good multivitamin, not something you buy at Kroger. Don't waste your money on that shit. You're just pissing it out and shitting it out. Man, it just ticks me off. I'm sorry. Anyway, reach out, sign up for a complimentary consultation with me for 20 minutes. No charge. Let's talk, see if I'm a good fit. I might not be a good fit. I might swear too much for you. But you know what? I might be a good fit to help you. Anyway, that's it for this episode. 60 days to 60, and I'm still kicking and loving every minute of it. Loving my workouts, loving my friends, loving life, man. Loving life. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Oh, one more thing. Don't forget to sign up for my gut health cheat sheet. It's in the show notes. Take care. Much love. And thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, or afternoon, whenever you may be listening to this episode. Don't do that. Don't have a great day. Create a damn great day. Thank you. Love you all. Bye.
Thank you for joining in today with the Rebel Health Coach, Tom Underwood. And be sure to subscribe to the show so you can catch all the episodes. With desire and commitment, you can implement a lifestyle of wellness and fitness. For the support, encouragement, and tools you need to be successful, visit tomunderwood.net.